Hello and welcome to your next session with Plato training on your business administration course, where today we're going to be looking at employee responsibilities in business administration. So your aims and objectives of today's session are to explain the importance of taking responsibility for your own work and respecting authority at work. And then we'll move forward to give examples of individual and team goals at work, and then describe why having goals at work are important. So let's firstly have a look at accepting responsibility and what that means. So you should have already covered this in your breakout room during the live session where you conducted some group research on this. So the term accepting responsibility, what does that mean? Have a look at the notes that you made during your live session. If you were unable to attend the live session, if you missed today's session, please research the phrase by searching accepting responsibility definition. When you are searching for a definition for accepting responsibility, please make sure that you understand the definition, because you're going to have to use it for a couple of the questions. So that leads us on to question 1. What does the phrase accept responsibility mean? So make sure you're writing this in sentences and use it in your own words. Don't copy directly off the internet. Please pause this video whilst you complete the question. So why do we need to accept responsibility at work? First and foremost, we're paid to complete the responsibilities that are laid out in the job description. So we need to accept responsibility for the job that we're being paid to do. By accepting responsibility, this shows that we're trustworthy, that we can own up if there's a problem, that we take ownership and pride in our work, that we're motivated and we can do the work well, and that we're of good character. Let's take a look at these in a little more detail. So accepting responsibility, why? Well, firstly, trustworthiness. So this will show that you are reliable. It'll show that you're honest and integral, that you're dependable because you'll tell people if there's a problem, that you're enthusiastic about the work you're doing, that you're in control and that you're able to produce quality work, and overall that you're responsible for the job that you've been hired to do. Please now state why it's important to accept responsibility for our own work. You need to use full sentences and develop a statement of a minimum of 2 sentences. Please pause the video whilst you complete the question. So authority at work, what does this term mean? So once again, I'd like you to think back to the group research that you did during the breakout room sessions during your live session this morning. If you missed the live session, please research the phrase by searching authority at work definition. Once again, when you are researching, please make sure that you understand the definition that you're coming up with or that you're finding, and try and write that up into your own words, as that'll lead you to question 3. So for question 3, what does the phrase authority at work mean? Please write this using sentences again, and make sure that you're not just copying directly. Write it in your own words. Please pause this video whilst you complete the question. So when we say about respecting authority at work, who are we talking about? So who is authority at work? So if you think back to the organisational chart or the company structure from last week, the managing director is always at the top and there's line managers throughout. So whoever your manager is, whether it is the managing director or the CEO, or whether you have a direct line manager in between you and the CEO, you must always listen to your line manager. So why must we respect authority? Why must we understand what authority means? Well, understanding authority and respecting it means that there's going to be reduced problems, conflict and stress is also going to be reduced. There should be good communication, which can lead to better teamwork. You should be able to learn more and gain more knowledge, and overall, you should become more productive in the workplace. So let's have a look at these in a little more detail. So, by understanding and respecting authority in the workplace, you should know who to ask for help. And you should understand that line managers can help to resolve any conflict. You should know who to ask for support in the workplace if you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed. You should feel that communication is improved because you know who to speak to. You should be able to work together on individual tasks for a project because people should be allocated jobs that enable them to work to their strengths, which means the environment should be more happy. And we can ask for help and support and training so that we can learn more and progress in our careers. So please state the importance of understanding and respecting authority at work, showing why we must understand it. To answer this question, please use full sentences and develop a statement of at least 2 sentences. So now we're going to have a look at personal goals and team goals at work. So on the screen here, you can see that I've put up some examples of both personal goals and team goals. So some personal goals that you might have, meaning that it'll be a goal personal to you as an individual. It could be that you wish to improve your time management, or perhaps improve professional relationships. Maybe you'd like to learn a new skill or complete a training course that you've started. Perhaps you'd like to present to an audience, so you need to improve your confidence. Or maybe you're interested in the work that you're doing and you want to learn a bit more about the sector that you're working in, so you might want to read some books that are related to your workplace. So team goals are slightly different in the sense that you are going to be working together towards a common goal. So with team goals, some key examples here, it could be to get more customer satisfaction surveys completed each month. So I've given you a stat there of 10%. It could be that you need to improve customer service as a team by 5%. Perhaps your manager would like you to answer the phone within 3 rings so the customers aren't waiting. Or, again, to stop the customers waiting, that you're not to keep customers on hold for longer than a minute. Perhaps there's a new fire procedure where you are now targeted to make sure that all visitors are signed into the building within 1 minute of them entering it. So why would these be important to have and to fulfill in the workplace? So with personal goals, so something for you, yourself, to work on. By having personal goals, it's going to help you to feel motivated. It might even lead to a promotion and a pay rise, which would of course lead to more responsibility. Having personal goals and achieving them is a great asset for your CV because it really helps you to sell yourself. And also it shows great character. It shows that you're able to set yourself a goal and fulfill that goal. With team goals, it shows that you're able to work as a team player, that you're able to work to each other's strengths. So perhaps somebody is very good at writing, but they aren't very good at spelling, or they feel that they're not very good at spelling, so they need some support with that. Or perhaps somebody's really good at writing presentations, but actually presenting the presentation isn't something they're comfortable with. So it's about working to each other's strengths. But by working to each other's strengths, you can also learn from each other. It can mean that communication is improved amongst your team. Time management of getting jobs done is also improved. And of course, this is something that you can talk about in your appraisal. So when your manager says to you every year in your appraisal, give me an example of something that went well in your working life this year, a team goal can be something that you can talk about. We improved customer satisfaction by 5% this year. This will lead you on to questions 5, 6, 7 and 8. So for questions 5 and 6 we're looking at personal goals, and for 7 and 8 we're looking at team goals. So first of all, for question 5 you're going to give examples of individual goals, and then for 6 you will describe why it's important to have individual goals and targets at work. On to question 7, you'll switch over to team goals, so you'll give examples of those team goals that we have in the office. And for question 8, describe why it's important to have such goals in the workplace. Please don't forget to use full sentences in your writing as per the guidance on your questions. So for today's learning activity log, you'll be writing today's date. Your learning aim is customer service. The activities and what you learned, so we've looked at authority and accepting responsibility at work. Today you've learned, give me something that you've learned about today. For your next session, we're going to be looking at customer service in business administration, part 1. We have part 2 next week. And then the next session is tomorrow's date. So you should now have achieved the following aims and objectives to explain the importance of taking responsibility for your own work and for understanding and respecting authority at work, and to give examples of individual and team goals at work and describe why having goals are important at work.